the Bieszczady Mountains, the wildest place of Poland and the region from which one of our two primitive horse breeds, the Hucul horse, originates. I love returning to this region to photograph these horses, so popular in our country. This time, however, I came to experience on my own the strength and the uniqueness of this small and to many very average breed of horse. I'm Kasia. I have dedicated half of my life traveling to the greatest locations to photograph one of the most beautiful horses. Through my journeys, I created award-winning photographs, met amazing stories, hosted many workshops worldwide, and experienced some amazing adventures. Now I want to take you along with me, showing behind-the-scene life of adventurous traveling horse photographer, not fearing the unknown and discovering truth of many meanings. If you are ready to join, welcome to my world. Together with my two girlfriends, Asia and Anya, who have witnessed my growth since the teenage years, we came to the heart of Bieszczady Mountains to help one of the local breeders move one of his herds from summer to autumn pastures. All the supplies needed to survive a night in the wild will be delivered to our overnight location. Ahead of us there are 2 days on a horseback, covering nearly 50 kilometers through the local wild forest and mountains.
Bingo!
Tak jest!
Our host, guide, and the breeder of local horses is Staszek Myśliński, a true legend. He found his place here in early 80s, like many other newcomers who sought a place to live, longing for a freedom and refusing to accept life in a harsh, absurd system at that time. He is a man with incredible ability to survive in difficult conditions, as are the Hucul horses themselves he bred.
Figa chodzi bez wędzidła, tak?
Tak. Tak, zgubiła.
He established his breeding farm at the same year I was born, 1989, and the name given to his stud is TABUN, the name translated as the herd.
Ja poszukuję figi.
This is Figa, my companion on this adventure, the only mare in this herd of about 20 geldings. Due to her delicate nature, Figa works only with a bitless bridle, which is very new to me. What makes the horse riding an endurance trip so special in TABUN, that the riding is made bareback. I never sat on a horse without the saddle in my life. Knowing that I will be participating in a multi-day bareback riding adventure, I only rode, once, because it was also very new to him. All the stimuli, the rider's weight and the tension in the body are much more noticeable to the horse on his own back than through the saddle. However, for the rider, maintaining balance is difficult too. This experience is a huge step out from my comfort zone. Our adventure begins. The herd's departure into the open fields quickly increased the horses' excitement, which turned out a need to release their energy. When the herd wants to run, nothing will stop them, so all that was left was to implement the instructions I'd been given a few minutes earlier. Lean forward, Hold the manes firmly and don't disturb the horse. My first bareback canter. No saddle, no beat. Just the sound of herd, the wind in my hair and smile on my face. Words simply can't describe how it feels.
Radość jak małemu dziecku, wiesz? To jest piękne na okrep.
From the open spaces we quickly enter dense forest, where many challenges awaits us. Here we began practicing new skills, bending and waving between branches and bushes, climbing hills, and at least presently over drop-offs and downhill ride.
Dobra, Figa. Dobry koń. Super.
Hot and sweaty cold made horse eager to seize every opportunity to roll, and the next meadow became another playground for them. When leading such a herd, you need to keep your eyes open, as the horses have a big dynamic within the group they live in. Some geldings are very cheeky, provoking others to play, while others don't necessarily tolerate teasing, reminding them of their place. Such energy in herd quickly spreads, and you need to be especially careful to avoid confrontations between the horses you are riding and those running freely. Being in Bieszczady Mountains, you can feel that this place is filled with energy. This region lies on the very edge of Poland's southeastern border, belonging to the Eastern Carpathians. Perhaps their inaccessibility is what makes this region so special, although that the climate here is much milder than in Sudety Mountains. Or perhaps, parallel to some beliefs, those are the spirits that keep watching over them. According to one legend, from which the Bieszczady got their name, a great creature named Bies lived in those mountains. He guarded the wilderness of this place, ensuring that these beautiful lands would never be settled and harmed by humans. To make life difficult for all the settlers and discourage them from staying, he unleashed a bunch of chads, small devilish creatures that made life miserable for people by playing all sorts of tricks on them. I can't deny that as we traversed those forests, we could feel and even see evidences of the presence of many creatures. Not only mystical ones, but also truly wild forest inhabitants, as deer, European bison, wolves, or even a bear. And I wondered if we would meet any of them on our way. After a few hours on a horseback, it was time for a break. Well deserved for both horses and riders, especially unexperienced ones like me. Unfortunately, my daydreaming often leads to my inattention, and this time it resulted to the crushed foot, which Figa accidentally stepped on while grazing next to me.
Cholero, ty trochę ważysz! Au!
Fortunately, Hucul horses weighed only 400 kilograms, and Staszek knows many herbal skills. Quick intervention and compress made from a crushed Reborn plantain work wonders, and my foot didn't swell at all. After a while, we continued our trek, wanting to reach our overnight stay before sunset. As our host keeps saying, Huculs live their own lives and they do as they please. We learned this when two of them decided to go down the opposite side of the canyon from the rest of the herd. We were a bit worried about those two, but our guide wasn't impressed, knowing that at some point they will find their way through to join us. Uphill and downhill, and so it goes for many kilometers. The magic of this forest becomes even more enchanting as the light begins to go down, and the golden flares dance among the yellow and copper leaves. It's no doubt the reason that this time of the year is called Polish Golden Autumn. Reaching the next peak, nestled in beautiful birch forest, we end today's stage of the drive. It's time to let horses rest and graze over the night. This area is mostly fenced, so we should be able to find them easily in the morning, though, as it turns out, it won't be so obvious. Our overnight stay is one of those tents, which serves as a camping base during the excursion season. Our gear and food were delivered before our arrival. Now we can relax and enjoy warmth of the campfire, listen songs straight from the Bieszczady and stories about Hucul horses.
Tam żadnych miec nie tyczy sznur. Tam żaden pan ich nie kozi. Hej, tam szukut terę, szukut cała przykrywa, a wesoła kołowia do tego porywa. Dla Hucula nie ma życia jak na połonienie.
The origins of these breeds are not fully confirmed. According to many experts, they are descendants of various ancestors, from Tatar, Oriental, Polish, Noric, Turkish, Tarpan or even Przewalski horses. But one thing is for certain, the area from which they originate is the Eastern Carpathians, from the Polish Bieszczady Mountains through the Slovakian Poloniny to the Ukrainian Hucul region from which they got their name. It was these primitive living conditions in demanding climate that shaped the horse, which survives well and healthy on poor feed, is disease-free, long-living, hardy, strong, and above all intelligent and courageous. As living in such wild mountains, they often face the predators that inhabit the area. Falling in the meadows, living without access to the stables, and sheltering in the thick forest during the harshest weather, the Hucul horses of TABUN know perfectly well how to survive in the wild. In the morning, me and my girls were warming up by the fire and drinking hot tea after a frosty night, when our gentlemen, Staszek and the cameraman Łukasz, went to search for horses. At sunrise, the entire herd ran away several kilometers from our campsite. What had spoken them? Was it kind of predator? Or maybe chads who had played a trick on us and let the horses out? We will never know. Fortunately, the herd returned and we got on our horses. As probably you already noticed, we only have gel pads under our buttocks, which help us to maintain a position on the horse without saddle. They prevent us from slipping off from the back. What a clever idea.
Ja mogę jechać tak jak przejechaliśmy gdzieś tam sobie z tyłu.
Dobra, to zjedziemy sobie kawałek i...
Czemu mi ten kapelusz dzisiaj nie siedzi? Ktoś mi podmienił kapelusz w nocy, albo mi mózg wyparował.
Może ci sklep się zmniejszy.
On the second day, despite our sore muscles, we felt much more confident on our horses. Full of enthusiasm and readiness, we set off on the second part of the expedition. Today we had to cross the largest river in Bieszczady Mountains, the Sun River. The old forest road we were supposed to use to traverse the first mountain proved to be more challenging than anyone expected. It had rained for days before our arrival, causing the ground to become slippery and muddy. And then strong winds had blown down weak and dead trees. Our route turned out to be flooded with obstacles. At one point, we reached places where fallen trees forced us to get down from the road and descended into very difficult, steep and slippery terrain. This is where fun ended and fear began.
Trzymaj. Ja mam cię, trzymam. Trzymaj się grzyby. Jesteś. Ja was hamuję. Uwaga. Uwaga. Ja się położyłem z koniem prawie.
The horses sliding through the mud and loose rocks, often bumping one into another as they blindly followed each other. It was unclear whether it was better to ride horse in such terrain, risking a fall with the horse, or lead, risking being dragged or stepped over by the horses. Adrenaline surged through our throats. I'd never been so scared on the horseback before.
Dobry koń, super! O, Jesus!
Dobrze, że zeszłam, powiem wam, bo bym się tam wyjechała.
Once we had recovered and come down from this crossing, we continued on, feasting our eyes on these beautiful mountain views. The rusting of leaves between the horses' legs in beech forest was like a calming session, eliminating the rest of the stress. Passing through the bushes and trees, we reached a point where our guides suggested coming down from horses. It turned out that we've been passing through the wolf territory, which they might be wandering in the thick and young trees. And while wolves don't prey on humans or mature horses, their presence might simply spook our horses. After crossing this crucial section, we mounted our horses and soon entered one of the Polish most beautiful rivers, the Sun River.
Dobry koń! Super!
According to the legend of Bieszczady, this river owes the name to the leader of certain settlers who refused to leave the local lands. Therefore, the sun challenged the Bies, whose power weakened in the water. During the fight, both fell, and their bodies swept away by the river itself. Fortunately, today's river was very gentle, allowing us to cross it peacefully with our entire herd. final stage of our journey lies ahead, conquering the last and steepest hill on our route. When horses are not rushed, they will find their own pace uphill. Overcoming slopes sometimes approaching 40 degrees, they often stop for a moment of rest. Just let them be carried and don't disturb them. They decide where to go and how to step, choosing the most optimal route to the summit. After 2 days of bareback riding, we were already sore and tired, while our horses were still full of strength and vigor despite the demanding route. The expression on my face says it all. I was amazed and lost for words at how incredibly those horses handled the terrain. No obstacle frightened them. While many breeds, especially warm blood, would panic, be afraid, or risk harming themselves in many of those situations we experienced, the Hucul horses proved they are the best horses for those very mountains. This is their home, and they know best how to navigate and survive in them. Although I had already known this corner of Poland, the Bieszczady region charmed me once again. Seeing it for the first time from this perspective, where horse and rider become as one, gave my soul wings. When we reached the middle of our destination, the horses put on the most beautiful spectacle to mark the end of our journey together. One by one, each of them began to lie down, roll, and shake themselves off. This view at the end filled my heart to the brim, and will be one I will often return to when thinking about Hucul horses. And I thank my companions on this next stage of my journey for their support. But above all, I bow low to all spirits of those mountains and forests, who allowed us safely lead the animals to their new pastures.